wanted to do a video today on home education, and I've written some notes this time because I didn't want to miss anything out, and if I don't cover anything in this video, or you'd like to know more information about something, then just comment underneath, and I can always go into more detail another time. I wanted it to be a general one. I hope everybody's okay at the moment. We've gone into the new year. Yay! Exciting, isn't it? It's really exciting. Yeah, for us mad people. So anyway, that's another video. So at the beginning, I don't like calling it homeschooling. I home educate. It's called home education because I'm not a school, basically. So, and it's learning the certain words and things, you know, what to say and what not to say, and things consciously in life. That's just one of them, for me anyway. So roughly, I homeschool my children. So the history of that is, we lived in the UK, and when my daughter was 10 years old, she asked me to can I school her at home, basically. And for 6 months, she said, she was asking me, and I kept saying, I don't know. And I don't know if I've told the story before, but anyway, here we go. So I looked into it. Now, there was nothing majorly wrong with the school, not for us anyway. Other people would differ, but that's the same with every school, isn't it, really, or situation people are in. This is my experience. And she had plenty of friends, and it was a small village school, so it wasn't massive. The teachers, there was only one horrible teacher there, which made everyone miserable, not just her, who wasn't actually a teacher. But anyway, but other than that, everybody was really nice. The teachers were really nice, etc. to River. She was a great student. She was probably higher education than the rest of her class because she kept having to go and help the others in a different class. So anyway, so she was a good student. Was having no trouble. That wasn't the reason that we decided to do it. She just kept asking me from the first day of school. She says, "They don't look after me properly, Mummy." And that just broke my heart. So I was like, oh my God. But that's just what everybody does. We're socially conditioned to send our kids to school. So that's just what I did, like a good person, you know, good mum. Never really heard of it before as an option. In general, as a general option, you know, if your child's finding it difficult, then that might be an option. But anyway, so that's our history. So I looked into it, and eventually I gave in and said, okay, why not? And because we registered them her in school, I had to deregister them. Now, this is the UK law, which is really easy to understand if you're English. And I'm looking away trying to think. So we deregistered her, just had to write a letter to the school, and it's not that common in small schools, in small places. So I was going to say it get looked at like an alien, but in every walk of my life I get looked at like that anyway, so I don't care. You get used to that. So that was it really, and I thought, oh my gosh, shit, what do I do? And all the usual things that go through your head. People think you have to be a teacher, you have to be qualified, you have to know everything, the curriculum, you have to do everything you do at school, blah de blah de blah de blah. It's like a headache. So I did a bit of research, and I found out that most people, for 6 months roughly, they unschool, which is they sort of unwind from the day-to-day regimented school mentality, you know, so they just sort of chill out for a bit for about 6 months. Now, when you deregister your child in England, I don't know if the law's changed now. This was my daughter's 16 now, so this was 6 years ago. I think they might be slightly changing it, I'm not sure. But always double check your latest rules and regulations in your country, because some countries it's illegal to home educate. I think I've said homeschool, and so I'm still trying to change how I say it. Anyway. All over the place I am, as usual. Where was I? So you have to unschool. We don't have to. So we chose to unschool. So I was researching. There's loads of groups out there. There's loads of groups online, and lots of help out there. Lots of resources online. Lots of free videos online on YouTube on lots of different things. There's lots of things you can pay for as well. But there's lots of free things you can do to teach your children as well. There's lots of books you can buy, etc. And the main thing is you don't have to follow the curriculum. In England, I keep saying in England because I'm now in France and that's a completely different situation. So, but you don't have to follow the curriculum. You can do what you flipping like, really. There's lots of different ways to doing it. Each family is different, and each family's got a different personality, and they all work different patterns or work from home. They've got different amounts of people in their family, so each situation is unique and different. There is no one way to follow for anybody to do a home education. So you just got to find your feet. So if you sort of unschool for about 6 months or something, and then you do your research and find out what your child really wants to do. We like child-led. We like the children telling us what they want to do when they want to do it, because they're naturally curious and they naturally want to learn. You know, I'm not for the system push. And I love that we could wait for the children to tell us, you know, what they would like to learn. And they're very curious beings, small children. I'll just babble, and then after I forget what to say, I'll check my notes to see if I've missed anything out. Okay, now I've said that, I've lost my trail of thought. So there's lots of groups. There's no rules in the UK. You just deregister. If you've got a child with a bit of a problem or whatever, then the social people can come and check on you every now and again, but there's no regulation to have to do that. I mean, it's completely stress-free. It's absolutely amazing. The positives for home education is that your children can have a lie-in. There's no getting up ridiculously early and shoving them on a bus. Or I remember my eldest daughter taking her to, I was a single mum, I can't remember, York I think it was, and I wasn't driving, I didn't have my licence, so I had to get on 2 buses to take her to school, so then I had to go to work, and it was so early, and I shoved her in the breakfast club in the school, and she was half asleep, bless her, and she's like, and I'm going, eat some toast, just eat something, and she's going, oh, I'm not hungry. And I felt awful, and then I picked her up after school club, and I just wasn't spending any time with her. It was really hard. So my eldest child went through the whole school system, so I have experience of that as well. I'm not a single parent anymore. I have lots of children and a busy family, and I'm getting older now, so it's getting harder on me. Anyway, so check the rules in your country, because basically our transition to France was, for me, almost a nightmare. Now, this was part of my experiences last year. We're in January now, so I can say last year. That I haven't wanted to talk about publicly, really. I've spoke about it to family and friends, but basically what happened is that we didn't realise how much of a culture shock coming just from UK to France was. The complete system is different, the rules are different, the law is different, the old-fashioned traditions in family values. Obviously, I love cultures, I love different cultures, I love learning all these things, but it's been really hard to transition, much more than I thought it would be. So if you are going to change countries, I would highly recommend you do as much research as you can, join as many groups as you can to try and find out as much information as you can, because God, you're going to need it, I tell you. And if anybody's thinking about, well, just ask me anything, I'm fine. Anyway, our transition was you have to tell your local town hall, your mairie, that you're homeschooling, and it's the Education Academy, and we have a local one. Now, the rules are slightly different in different parts of France. So, oh, the wind. So, so what we experience isn't exactly what another family would experience somewhere else. They might have it completely different. I did get in touch with some people before I came here in France, and there is not many at all. There is literally thousands, hundreds of thousands in England that are home educating. In France, not so many. And Macron, our lovely Prime Minister, leader, or whatever he is really trying to stop it. So as of this year, in September, we have to apply and hope they say yes to us home educated, whatever that means. I have no idea what that means. So they really want to stop it, and it's illegal in Germany as well. So really, it's something you really need to, if you're interested in, really need to look into and get involved in the progress of this, because I think, who wants free thinkers, eh? Apart from us lot. The system. So what did I do? We transitioned. We found out the hard way, basically. River came over, and she was a teenager which I had all the books. I bought all the books off Amazon and things for GCSEs, and when we had our appointment for the inspector in Aurillac, he was brilliant. You know, he spoke all French. It was quite difficult to understand him at first. But he just wanted her to continue her work in English. So it's up to the actual inspectors, I think, to say what's best for your child, basically. And each situation is different. The law is very hard to follow in France, probably because I don't speak French, but in general, it's even for the French, it's hard for them to follow. So it's been really difficult trying to find out exactly what we're meant to do. So with River, no problems, no major problems. When it came to Florence, they lowered the age recently where they had to register for school. So we had to register Florence. I thought, well, I don't really have a clue what to do. You know, we've been through the system with River. We know what she's doing. It's quite established work. She's got a mind of her own. She wanted to do certain things, and we let her do that. And she was just following what she wanted to do. She's following the curriculum when we first came here. Now, also, each child changes as they grow up to do different things. They might change their mind, so we go with the flow. That's the idea anyway, but it's so strict here. So we had an inspection. If you follow me regularly, it was in between the police turning up lots of times, one time with guns in their hands, and then what's coming next. So it's a bit of a shit year, really, with all that sort of going on. So what happened was we had an inspection. A different lady who's came round to the house, our barn, you know, that we're living in and stuff. And we thought she was with another lady. So I thought that it was to assess the situation, to let us know how the land lies and all that sort of thing. She came in expecting, she was like headmistress, you know, the old-fashioned type, and she expected us to know exactly what was going on, exactly what to do. She expected Florence to be on the ball like that, right? Now, we've been out of the system for a while, and it was a bit of a shock, to say the least. So, God, how do I say this without going into too much detail and saying so many... Yeah, okay. So it was a huge shock. Florence was crying, it was awful. And we failed, basically. Now, again, I thought that you had to have 3 failures from inspections before they could try and force you to go to school. Well, she was trying to tell us that you had 2, and this, that, and the other. So, I mean, basically, you'll go into panic mode. So I got this letter through, and she immediately reported us to social services. Because we were living in a barn, because of everything, our lifestyle. So that's another video. But I went into panic mode. I went into instant stress. I fed into the fear of it all. I deflated completely, and that's why I was ill last year, and I ended up in hospital. And a year later, quite a year, it's not even been a year yet, I'm a lot better. But it's a neurological, psychological, body, nervous system, chest, definitely my chest has suffered, anxiety attack, all this came from all this. And us moving to France anyway, I think, you know, just the whole differentness of it and the hardness. But that's what we wanted to do, so I'm fine with that. So anyway, so she did that. So for the next 6 months we had to go through inspections from the social services and prove to them that we weren't a harm to our children. Now, the Mary were pretending to be our friends at the time, and when I reached out for help, anyway, so that's another journey. So so that was that, and then the inspection, because we failed that one, we had to go to another one, and oh my gosh, I pulled out all the stops, and it wasn't that Florence didn't want to learn, it's that the inspector told us we had to learn French first as well. Right, what she was telling us was not the law, what I found out. And we don't want to kick off, we don't want to slag her off or anything. I say this in every video, I don't want to go into accusing and all this sort of stuff, but this is my experience and my journey, and if it can help anybody else, then please get in touch. You know, we've survived, but it's taken a whole year to get our head around all of this. We still don't understand the language properly, we still don't understand the law, we still don't understand what the education people expect from us. And because every situation is different, I think they sort of make it up as they go along. But I'm not allowed, I don't know if I'm allowed to say that, but I'm saying it out loud. So anyway. So basically, not enough people speak out about these type of things. And at the moment, it is imperative that people share their experiences, reach out to people online, reach out, share it with videos if you can find your confidence. After you do a few, you just get addicted and babble on, you know. But it does help other people. Find people in your local community, think of alternative ideas. You know, what they're telling us to do in general isn't always legal, you know, so look at it. You don't have to kick off or anything, just look into it is what I would say. So that was our situation with Florence. So she's had one inspection which she passed with flying colours. We took a friend, we had to go to Mauriac, and she passed with flying colours. This year I got Forrest as well. He's now the age 3 of registering. Oh my gosh, so I haven't got any appointments through yet for inspections, but I'm like shitting myself. But I'm doing it, I'm really doing it. Now everybody's reason for home education is different. Since our reason at the beginning was because River was asking us to do it, but we have different reasons as the years have gone on, you know. So, right, let me get my things. So there's lots of many resources. So a lot of people say, well, where they're going to get their friends, that, you know, they're not going to socialise and all that. Bollocks. You can join lots of out-of-school clubs. There's loads of activities. In England, in France it's harder, but that's our fault. We moved to the middle of nowhere in the countryside, so it's a lot harder for us. If you move to France in a city, which is probably not a good place to be at the moment, but if you moved somewhere where there was more activity, then there would be more things to do. Florence has joined the local dance club, which she absolutely loves, so that's good. And in general, we've made friends, it's just been a bit slow. So the benefits is, like I said earlier, no early mornings, they can eat when they want, go to the toilet when they want, the kids are happier, you get to see more of their growing up. It's what I missed out on with my eldest. Excuse me. And at the moment there's no restrictions. They don't have to wear at home, you know, they don't have to social distance, there's no psychological damage to children. Which is a lot of families are looking into the home education, which is why I need to do this video to say, you know, it's an option, it's amazing, it's doable. Some schools do half and half in England, apparently. Fair enough, they probably don't like it, but some do, and you can opt to do some at home, some at school. That's legally acceptable, by the way. Okay, let's have a look. Oh, I might have gone on about it quite a lot on my camera. Make sure I'm not showing you me top of my head. I think I've covered it, yeah. I've covered most. So the home education of the future is going to be amazing. It's going to be more community led. It's going to be people helping each other. It's going to be like it used to be in the old days in the tribes and that sort of thing. More community based. It's going to be more hands-on, back to nature, back to the values, the things that, oh my God, the things that we as adults have grown up thinking. How many times have you said, God, I wish I knew that when I was younger. I wish my parents had told me that. I wish school had told me that. Why did I do that at school? I've never used it before. Why did they shove this down my neck a million times and give me flipping complexes and all this sort of stuff? It's going to be none of that. It's going to be back to nature. It's get back to the values of how to survive. You know what I mean. It's going to be community led. It's going to be amazing, and the children will be happier. And they flipping need to be happy at the moment, because kids, bless them, are having a hard time. And I'm so glad and grateful that I am on this journey, no matter how difficult it is.